Yo! What's up? What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing? Mm-hmm. I hope everyone is doing well. Let me make my bed so I don't look like an animal. There we go. Make it nice, huh? Make it nice for everybody. Like half my bed. There we go. A little production design. How's everybody doing? Isaiah, hello. Oh, we're seeing Darianne first? Maybe not. I don't know. Hey, guys. Thoughts and live streams, you guys. Socks and YouTubes. How's everybody doing? Can you see and hear me okay? And more importantly, what's up? Amsterdam's here. Cat B's here. David Wentz here. Mabug33, you see me fine. I have the air conditioner on in the room because it's pretty hot here in Texas. Is it too distracting? Because I can turn it off if it is. Scott Morrison is Australia's Prime Minister. Coalition win. Couldn't be happier with it. Okay, Sam Dean, what's up? I don't know anything about that guy. Isaiah Perez, Susan Brown, what's up? Oh, your meeting is June 19th in Boston. Cool. So just, is that humming from the air conditioner too distracting? What do you guys think of that? David Wint, we'll see you in New York City. You don't hear it. Great, then I can keep it on because Texas is hot. Morrison is a right-wing wingnut, just like Tony Abbott was a surprise, like Trump's win against Harris. Oh boy, that's brutal. What's up? Ajetto 12 sounds good. So I'll get to Warren's thing in a second. First, I'll answer this, how the Shaving Knuckles for Justice started. I'll tell you, I wish there was more elaborate. I was doing this show, I don't know, 6 months ago, and I just went, like, somebody did a super chat, which is a great way to support the show, but donate money to the show, and I just went, boom, right on, and you can see my knuckles, and I was like, oh, man, I need to shave my knuckles. Shave my knuckles for justice. It just happened that ridiculously, and that was it. So then it just became a thing. Shave now. Now I say it every time. And some people have come up to me after shows, like when I was in Tempe last week with Jimmy, they were like, somebody came up, said, shave your knuckles for justice. They did it last night at the thing. So it really has no, everyone's like, is it some long involved story? No, I'm just being a jackass. So I just punched the mic, this camera. And then I said, shave your knuckles for justice. Makes no sense. But you should all shave your knuckles for justice. So that's what's up. Lois, my husband and I shave our knuckles for justice when we agree. Fantastic. So would you go on a Michael Brooks show, debate him about the primary? Please, Graham. I don't really know Michael Brooks. Maybe. I should make up a good knuckle shaving backstory. Like the old labor unions, they all did this in solidarity in 1926. I'll just create some crazy story. Marcia Smith, tomorrow's her big day. Show her some love. So I'll tell you a couple things. First of all, so we just did the Jimmy Dore show live in Austin, Texas last night, which was fantastic. It was a great audience, and Ron and I were here like a month ago doing the Progressive Comedy Tour, which was great. So doing Jimmy Dore Live was fantastic. So the clips coming out of that will be amazing. Any of you that were there, thank you for showing up. And many of the people that were at the show last night had seen Ron and I when we were in Texas a month ago. One guy even had a Make Gotham Great Again shirt, which was really cool. And so I took a bunch of pictures and all that. So it was really, and I took some video clips that I'm going to start dropping on some of them will be on YouTube. Some of them will be on Patreon. So it was just really, really, really cool. Hey, Annabelle, what's up? This is Sam Dean said, you used to shave your knuckles. Your dad used to shave his knuckles when you were a kid. He was killed in an alley when you wanted to go. Oh, wait, that's Batman's shit. Yeah, we can't. That's Batman's backstory. So thanks to everybody that came out last night in Austin, Texas. And we're doing stand-up comedy tonight. Jimmy and Steph and myself and Mike McRae. So that's at the Velveeta Room. I think we're doing 2 shows. I think they're both sold out. Then I fly back to LA tomorrow. Thursday, Ron's doing his Ron Placone and Friends at Flappers. So I hope you can come to that. Yeah, Mike was on the show last night doing his voices. So fucking funny. He did because the female governor of Alabama signed this awful abortion law. And then he did the former governor of Alabama, which is some old Southern guy like, oh, listen, I'm going to say now, hell. And it's just, you could barely understand. It was so fucking funny. Mike is so, so funny. But before we get into Warren's no on Fox thing, which is ridiculous, I want to answer Jedi Mullet 77, shave the knuckles for justice. Mike Pompanius is happy about the polar ice cap melting. If that happens, won't Santa and his workshop be destroyed? Talk about the war on Christmas. Yeah, it shows how psychotic they are. I mean, it shows how insane they are. And when the polar ice caps melt, a lot of, climate scientists are like, well, all this methane gas is going to be released almost at the same time, like a bomb. They're literally calling it a methane bomb, which could take out all the air. There will be no more breathable air. I wonder what Mike Pompeo will think of that as he's choking to death. So it shows how just utterly insane they are. They're insane people. Balthazar 228. Why does it still say 0 views on the tutorial? Dude, I'm sorry. Traveling. I'm trying. It's just me, dude. I'm sorry. I appreciate you supporting the show, and I'm really trying, Balthazar. But it's a lot to do. So like today, I woke up today and I was uploading videos to Rockfin and the podcast. The early people get it on Libsyn, the early people get it on Patreon. If you're at the $5 audio level, you get it early on Patreon. And then I have to upload it to Libsyn, so people get it on Tuesday on Libsyn, which is iTunes. But that takes time, and I'm in a hotel, and the hotel internet here is not horrible. It's okay, but it's not like it's super fast. So I have to upload. Everything takes so much goddamn time, dude. But I just bought YouTube ads to air during Jimmy Dore's show and the Young Turks that just say, hi, you know me from Jimmy Dore and Aggressive Progressives. Please subscribe to my show, Political Vigilante. Because what I'm finding, and maybe you guys can help with this, is a lot of people that watch me on the Jimmy Dore show don't know that I have my own channel. They just think my nickname is Political Vigilante, which would just be a kind of a crazy nickname to have. So I want to buy, because all these people, like literally at the shows, the live Jimmy Dore shows, people come up, meet and greet, and they're like, oh, I didn't know you had your own YouTube show. I'm like, yeah, Political Vigilante. I hand them a sticker that says that. And they're like, oh, fuck, I didn't know. That's awesome. I'll subscribe. So I'm really, I mean, look, if I just got, 10% of Jimmy's subscribers, that would be almost 60,000 subscribers. Imagine if I had 10 or 20%, if I had 100,000, so me getting 100,000 subscribers is not that, excuse me, is not that outlandish or far away. If you think about all of the Jimmy Dore viewers that know me from that show, I'm sure most of you found me because of that show. So I just need them to make the connection when they're watching me on Jimmy Dore. So I'm buying ads on YouTube. I don't have a lot of money to spend on ads, but if people see that and just all they got to do is click subscribe. Oh, that guy. Yeah, I know him. Graham, click. That'll help. Like right now, there's 81 people viewing, 25 likes. Hit the like button. Balthazar 228, shave your knuckles for justice. The only positive thing that could come out of all these garbage abortion bans is that the Supreme Court could decide that all state restrictions are undue burdens and overrule the 1992 PP versus Casey. Yeah. You see what they're doing. They're obviously trying to eviscerate Roe v. Wade, and they are trying to get the Supreme Court nominations and all this other stuff. But if you think the Democrats are just, and I doubt most of you think this, but I really want to pay, what is happening in Alabama and Georgia is horrible. It's horrible. But don't lose sight of the fact, look at what they're trying to do. Is this actually plays in favor of corporate Democrats and people like Joe Biden, because Joe Biden will protect Roe v. Wade. And so then all the neoliberals on the left will go, we gotta get Biden in there, or Kamala, or some, just to protect Roe v. Wade, and then we'll deal with the environment. And it's like, look, if we protect Roe v. Wade and transgender rights, and we end racism and police brutality and income inequality, we fix all those things, but we don't fix the climate collapse, we're all done. And Joe Biden's and centrist Democrats' middle ground, let's find a happy medium with the Green New Deal, that is just as dangerous as climate change deniers. Because let's raise gas mileage standards. That's not going to fucking do it. We're done. That was 30 years ago. You should have done that 30 years ago. You should have made gas mileage 50 miles. You should have made the minimum. You didn't have done 30 years ago and transition from there. You didn't. You missed it. You blew it. That's why I did that video showing the Ocasio-Cortez where she basically calls out. And so I cannot stress this enough. The Democrats are probably happy that this happened in Alabama and Georgia, because now that supports their just get a Democrat in there. It's why I did that video about the woman that's the chair of the DCCC doing a fundraiser for an anti-abortion Democrat. Her whole reasoning was, well, I have to support all Democrats because that'll defeat Trump. He's a Republican. If he's pro-life, he's not a Democrat. He's a Republican. So I don't want to give up a woman's right to choose. And it's awful that like 25 men made that decision, but also a female governor did that too. I don't want that to be the thing that gets Biden the nomination. So obviously that's my fear, but anyway. Balthazar 2 Tuesday, Wednesday, 0 rules in the tutorial. All right, let's go through some of these other questions that have been asked. Jedi Mullet 77, shave the knuckles for justice. I hope you and Ron get to be permanent hosts on Aggressive Progressives. Me too. I would love that. I loved doing that show with Ron. The time Ron couldn't do it, it was just me hosting with, I think it was Dave Anthony and Lauren Steiner. I loved doing that show. Everybody at TYT has been really cool to us. So if you guys email, especially if you're a TYT member, email them and say, I'm going to cancel my membership unless you put Ron and Graham on Aggressive Progressives. That can help. I'd love to do that show. But I don't know. It's hard to know I really have very little knowledge or say on what's happening over at TYT. I've just been, lucky enough to have them, have me come in and do it. So I wish I had a more concrete answer for that, Jedi Mullet. Bob Swanick, see you in New York City. I found you because of Jimmy. Got my bus ticket to New York City. Need some comic relief bad. Thank you so much. So we'll see you in New York. Thank you for taking a bus down there. God, I appreciate that. I really appreciate many of you. And I talked to them last night in Austin. People like, oh, we lived 3 hours away in Texas, or we drove 4 hours to come here. And I know so many of you do that when you come see us live, Ron and I, or Jimmy or whatever. And I really appreciate that. So getting back to if you're talking to other Jimmy Dore viewers online, make sure they subscribe to my channel, because it's real simple. I mean, some of you might know this, some of you might not, and that's fine. I'll explain it to you. So the more subscribers I get, the more views I get. The more views I get, the more YouTube ad revenue I get, and then also the more Patreon supporters I get. So those are the two main revenue streams of this channel. We got 95 people watching. So if I get up to 100,000 viewers, and then there's going to be, 500 to 1,000 people watching, it just generates more views and more revenue, and then I can do more things. Do more videos, have a producer. There's so many things I'd like to do more in person. I'd like to rent a studio, do in-person interviews. I'd like to do like the traveling I did that one of you political vigilantes paid for, which I'm extremely grateful for, to go to San Francisco to cover the Julian and Chelsea Manning rally. That was really cool. So I just want to let you know I appreciate it. And anytime you can tell some other Jimmy Dore viewers to check me out, or just other progressives that watch Kyle Kulinski or Kim Iverson or Real Tim Black or whatever, it really helps the channel. Thanks. Balthazar 228, shave the knuckles for justice. Wait, are you telling me that Jimmy has a show? I thought he was just a nickname. I thought that was just his nickname on the Political Vigilante and Get Your News On with Ron. Yeah, I know Balthazar 228. It's crazy. Yeah, Jimmy Dore show is not his nickname. His name is Jimmy Dore, and then he has a show that's the Jimmy Dore show. God, I hope it's very confusing. It's very confusing. Let me make sure I got everybody. I don't want to miss any. I don't want to miss any of you fine progressives supporting my channel. Balthazar 228, shave the knuckles for justice. Folks, you can also go to streamlabs.com/Graham Elwood. Great way to support the show. Also, the debate isn't pro-life versus pro-choice. It's pro-choice versus anti-choice. Choosing not to have one is under the pro-choice umbrella. Yeah. That's a good point. Pro-choice versus anti-choice. Yeah, I know, because pro-life means, if you're pro-choice, that means you want to murder. That's part of their marketing. Thanks for pointing that out, and it's a good thing to continue in the conversation. And look, I don't like it, and I want to hold these conservatives accountable. 50th in education in Alabama. If they really cared about children, they'd be number one in education. They'd be number one in preschool and child daycare and child health care and child development. They'd be number one in all those categories, but they're not. So, and a woman wanting to get an abortion is treated to stricter laws than the guy that raped her. It's horrifying. It's horrifying. So we do both. We can be public and open and make sure that doesn't happen, and protest and call legislators and get people activized in Alabama and all that stuff, and give to Planned Parenthood of Alabama and all that stuff. But just make sure the corporate Democrats don't trick everybody into voting for Joe Biden because they think he's the only real candidate that can be. That's why you're seeing these polls. Biden's in the lead. Biden's in the lead. It's to tell you Bernie doesn't have a chance psychologically, even though they're bullshit. Because Biden will get in there. He'll protect Roe v. Wade. He'll bring back a couple of the regulations that Trump got rid of. I said on Twitter, Joe Biden is my favorite pro-choice Republican. He's a Republican. If he ran as a Republican in the Republican primary against Trump, he'd probably win. If he wants to be president so bad, he should do that. So be careful of all that stuff. Tanya Z, you are correct. All right, where did somebody go? Jay Allen, shave the knuckles for justice. Jay, thank you, brother, for supporting the show. Jay Allen again, ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Here's this one. OTR Trucker, shave the knuckles for justice. One panel political cartoon, foreground Biden wearing a blue pantsuit and Hillary wig, clapping Trump coming into frame, subtitle, 4 more years. Yeah. That's what they want. It's insane. He's just running on Hillary's campaign, saying Bernie's stuff is out of touch, middle ground climate policy, but at least AOC's here now. AOC wasn't there in 2016. AOC now has 4 million Twitter followers. So when she posts a clip of her saying, I'll be damned if I'm going to let middle of the road because that won't get it done. That's important. So share those videos I put out there. Thank you. John Smith, shave the knuckles for justice. What do I think of Bernie saying he would vote for Biden? I'm extremely disappointed. It's really disappointing. Because it's saying he'll sell us all out again because Trump. And I know some people who are like, fuck that, I'm going to vote for Tulsi. I don't know. Me personally, as it stands now, we got a ways yet. We got a year before the primaries start. But I'm probably going to vote for Bernie in the California primary because if he gets the nomination, if the Democrats don't cheat him, then he can beat Trump. If he gets the actual nomination, he can and will beat Trump. If they cheat him and then they give it to Biden, I won't. And I will do video after video after video after video after video saying I ain't going to do it. I'll spend the whole summer of 2020 saying, fuck you. That's what I think of that, John. And I don't know. We'll see. Maybe somebody like Tulsi will run as an independent. Because that would be interesting. Let's say Bernie loses, they cheat Bernie, and he buckles. Says, I got to support Joe Biden. So now Biden and Trump are running against each other. 2 old white guys, and Bernie is backing Biden. And Tulsi Gabbard goes, I'm running as an independent. Then what do all the feminists say? What do all the identity politics, what do they say? Because Tulsi Gabbard is way to the left of Joe Biden. It'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting, John. Thanks for bringing that up. Susie Simon, shave the knuckles for justice. Susie, we'll see you in Chicago in July. Governor JB is proposing an infrastructure rebuild in Illinois to be paid for by doubling the gas sales tax and increasing the registration for cars 3 years or older per year. I don't know how I feel about this. What do you think? Well, let's backtrack a little bit. So as we've learned on MMT, and if those of you who are new to my channel, I have a whole playlist of all of the various MMT interviews I've done, numerous ones with Jeff Epstein from Citizens Media TV, who's going to be at our shows in Philadelphia, the Progressive Comedy Tour. Numerous other people, including Fidel Kaboub, who's like a pretty well-known MMT, economist. So we know from that state and local governments actually have to operate a budget the way you and I do with our own personal or our family budgets, right? The state of Illinois, as the all 50 states, gets money from its tax revenue and from the federal government. And then that's the budget it has to run all of the state programs and state infrastructure. Same thing with the city of Chicago, the city of Austin, Texas, Los Angeles, it's the same thing. The federal government can they issue currency, the United States federal government and the Federal Reserve can just say, oh, here's a bunch of money, we can buy all this stuff up. That's my quick MMT lesson. So I bring that up because in general, a state has to find its own sales tax, its own revenue streams to pay for infrastructure. Overall, I'm all for infrastructure rebuild. The whole country needs it. I would love to see Illinois, build high-speed rail. Imagine high-speed rail. Maybe that's already kind of there, but like imagine a high-speed rail that goes from Chicago to St. Louis. That's a 6-hour car ride. Imagine if you could do it in a train in 2.5 hours. If part of it to answer that question too, I would like to know the specifics of what the infrastructure plan is. Because if it's like, we're going to make the state of Illinois more green, we're going to put solar panels and wind turbines on all of the state do all that, green up all the state buildings, man, that idea I'm way on board with. And if you're going to get that money from taxing gas more, great. You want to drive your car around? So what the state can say is, look, we're going to give you better public transportation, greener public transportation. You can still drive your car. It's just going to cost more. To incentivize people to get rid of their cars or whatever, if that's the way it's structured, then Susie, yes, I'm in favor of that. Upping car registration, man, and it also goes to how is the state of Illinois managing its money. So I guess in general, without knowing the specifics of the infrastructure plan and how the money is managed, I would say, yes, I'm in favor of it. But if there's more details to this, it might, if it's a horrible infrastructure plan, then no, I'm not in favor of it. So I hope that's not like a vague, cryptic answer, but that's how I view that. Like my general and then the specifics of it. Susie, thank you for supporting the show. Let's see who else we got here. Alex, I assisted women to gain safe passage into women's health clinics to get their abortions. Many anti-choice crazies there with those pictures. Oh, God. Ask them if they're vegetarians. If you do that again, Alex, and hats off to you for just walking through that fucking line of hate-filled bullshit from a bunch of psychopaths. Hats off to Alex, guys. Show her some shaved knuckle love. That's badass that you do that. And wear a shirt next time that says meat is murder. And ask them if they're vegetarians. And hold up signs of cows being slaughtered. See how they like that. Oh, that'd be fun. Okay. Balthazar 228, shave 'em, Balthy. If it's Trump v. Biden, I'll be drinking a mint julep, watching Speaker of the House of Atlantis, Nancy Pelosi, talk about why she supports the net. Oh, I was watching Aquaman on the plane on the flight over yesterday. Not a great movie. If it's Trump v. Biden, I really hope then some big, I hope either Bernie, and if he doesn't have the stones to do it, which it sounds like he won't, I hope some big name person runs as an independent. I really do. And I like, because I don't want to, I'm not, Joe Biden will, the planet will die. We'll just have incremental climate collapse versus just quicker. It'll be he'll just slow down climate collapse. It's like putting a speed limit of 130 miles an hour at the Indy 500 versus the 160 or however long. That's what he would be doing. God, that's awful. Jedi Mullet 77. Pump is on YouTube. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was just Amazon. I'll watch Pump. I know I have not yet, but I will. I keep saying I'm going to do that. Thank you for reminding me. I will watch it. I promise to you. Balthazar 228, shave the knuckles for justice. 135 people watching, 79 likes. Hit the like button, folks. Get the likes up to the equivalent of the viewers. The merfolk aren't sending their best. They're sirens, they're hunters, and some, I assume, are good fish people. Nancy Pelosi and because I'm assuming you're saying the planet will be underwater. Oh, that's a best case option. That's assuming that there's still breathable air, that there isn't a mass extinction event. The ocean currents could stop. There's all these things that these climate scientists are looking at. The feedback loops. If the bees die, if the currents, if the sea lives die, it could be quick, they're saying. So we need a real Green New Deal, not a bullshit one that's got nuclear power in it and carbon cap emission. No, it's got to be like, we're done with fossil fuels. The goal is to be 100% renewable in 10 years. Let's go. That's how it has to be. And if we don't have that, we're not going to make it. Susie Simons, thank you for supporting the show. Shave your knuckles for justice, Susie. I'm all for infrastructure rebuild. We have overpasses collapsing all over. There is something in there about green energy. My main concern is how taxes will impact poor working people. Well, that's a great point. That is a great point, because a flat gas tax, you know, if you're rich, an extra $5 on your tank of gas, whatever. If you're poor and working class, that's really going to affect you. That's a very valid point. And how are they going to be priced out of getting car registration? It's forcing people to buy new cars. That's hard. That's hard. So that's a great point to bring up. What you would have to do, and this is something you and other citizens of the state of Illinois could petition, is some type of waiver, at least on the registration side, if you're low income. Like, you shouldn't have to pay the increase if you make less than a certain dollar amount. The gas tax, I don't know how you get around that. Because on the state and local level, you do have to ask, how are we going to pay for it, unlike on the federal level? A good question also to raise is, where is the state of Illinois wasting money on bullshit? And take it out of there first before you stick it to working class people and the poor. But that's a great concern, Susie. Fixing infrastructure and having green in there, but a gas tax really sticks it to people in a serious way. So it'd be interesting to find out how they could solve that issue without so boom. Who else have we? Robert Gilbert, Bobby Gill, shave the knuckles for justice. You, Malcolm, you, Ron, Malcolm, and Steve sounds like the AP team to me. Again, Robert, I'm all for it. You know, when Kim Iverson, Ron and I did the show twice with Kim Iverson, I thought she was a great, you know, she's definitely to the right of Ron and I in certain issues. She's a little more libertarian, but I think it's that's a fine thing to have on that panel. She's not neoliberal, she's libertarian on certain things, and that's a fine stance to have, and I think she'd be great. I love working with Malcolm. I love working with Steve. They're really smart. Like Malcolm right now, with AP on hiatus, Malcolm and Steve are the only people that are like real left progressives on that channel anymore. From what I can see, everybody else is screaming Russia, Russia, Russia. And so let them know, email them. That's all I can tell you guys. Email them, and I hope that they, yeah. What do I think about Robert Pattinson playing the new Batman? No good. To me, the only 3 Batman movies worth a damn are the Christopher Nolan ones. Batman Begins, which is a great origin story. Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises. And if you've ever read the graphic novels, Christopher Nolan does a great job of using the Frank Miller graphic novel series, Batman Year One graphic novel series, The Killing Joke. He uses the source material very well. I haven't seen anybody else capture what Batman is all about other than Chris Nolan. Anyway. Tulsi off act is better than that bullshit Green New Deal. Off fossil fuels. But let's be clear, the actual Green New Deal was created by the, you know, Jill Stein and the Green Party, like back in 2012. That's the real one. That one is anti-war. I mean, that one is really fantastic. So OTR Trucker, thanks for supporting the show. Colorado now has a public option health insurance. That's awesome. My guess, Colorado can afford it because they're bringing in a lot of revenue because of the taxes on recreational marijuana. See? The money that's coming in when you tax something like that, that can pay for everything. So that is all right. Here we go. Annabelle Corley, shave your knuckles for justice, Annabelle. It's good to have you. People from other countries, and I know there's an Aussie contingent. We're trying. So I know this isn't really your question, but I'll read it in a second. So Ron and I have talked about we want to go to Russia. We're waiting to hear on this Russian comedy festival. It's supposed to take place in September. They haven't gotten back to us, so I don't know. We need that date confirmed quickly, and then to start. I really want to go to Russia, and I want to go to Australia. So we need to pick some dates and then lock them in. So we haven't been able to do that yet, but we will. Annabelle Corley, Australia conservative government climate change deniers were reelected. Ugh. Large part of the country said that that's fine as long as we pay less tax. For a lot of us, where do we go from here? Suggestions. Oh, man. I'm sorry, I don't know much about Australia's government, but I think what you got to do is take a page out of Sunrise Movement and Extinction Rebellion. Maybe Extinction Rebellion is already there, but it's youth-led, but it's everybody's involved. And just start. Extinction Rebellion is like having sit-ins and protests, and get loud. Get a Sunrise Movement started in Australia and really start, because look what happened here. So Green New Deal was something only like Green Party voters and whacked out hippies like me knew about, until the Sunrise Movement did a sit-in outside of Pelosi's office, and Ocasio-Cortez saw them and spoke, and news cameras were there. And then everybody, including Fox News, is talking about a Green New Deal. Now, Fox News is saying the Green New Deal doesn't want you to have cars and outlawing cows, and Ocasio-Cortez doesn't want you to have a baby or a plane or whatever. They're bullshit, but at least they're saying it. The words weren't even out there. So that's my suggestion, is mobilize a climate change movement in Australia. If there's already organizations there, which I'm assuming there are, reach out to them and get more involved with them and say, we need to really protest. I don't know if Australia has like town hall meetings the way we have here. Go to their offices, protest, get loud. That's what you have to do. Get the Extinction Rebellion, get loud, and call out these politicians. Like we have a no fossil fuel pledge, right? Candidates running won't take, the Sunrise Movement did this. So they've been very clear about all. Hickenlooper, he won't sign it. Klobuchar won't sign it. So call those politicians out. Find out which ones are taking money from the fossil fuel industry. And get clear on these. The other thing that those organizations are good are disseminating information. So the people are like, I don't want to pay a lot in taxes. Well, do you want to have low taxes and then the extinction of the planet? Or do you want to have, reasonable tax, and a higher tax bracket and then the human life survives? Those are what I would do, Annabelle. Thank you for supporting the show. I really appreciate it. Let's see who else. Yeah, Klobuchar. Klobuchar is pretty war. Marcia Smith. Hello, Marcia. Shave your knuckles for justice. Sorry to see Stay in Your Lane not work out, but look forward to seeing a live show sometime this summer and show off my new knees. I can't wait to see your new knees as well. Yeah, the Stay in Your Lane was just a fun little thing. My friend Shannon, who worked at that bowling alley, just had this space. They wanted to try comedy. They started doing more bands, and yeah, we'll find another venue. It's just a lot of work running a show like that, and I'd rather focus on this channel than that. So, but show Marcia some love. She's getting knee surgery tomorrow. 146 views, 101 likes. Hit the like button. Eugene Westman. What's up, Eugene? Shave your knuckles for justice. You're making Gotham great again. European people would be more supportive of progressive policies if you all did not oppose them trying to keep their own countries in Europe. It's an interesting. Yeah. I guess I get that statement. Yeah. You're talking about American interventionism, maybe? I don't know. But I look to what happens like in the UK and Jeremy Corbyn, a real progressive who got smeared by the corporate media and all that other stuff. It's kind of similar things are happening all over the world. The capitalists, the globalists have eviscerated so many countries and so many people's basic needs and rights and healthcare, and even in the countries where they have good healthcare and good stuff like that, I see people complaining it's not as good as it used to be, and then it's why there's a rise of nationalism, because people are scared. Things are getting taken away from them by the 1%ers, and then nationalists come up and go, oh, blame that group, blame the immigrants, blame that, and it's like, no, blame the 1%. Immigrants didn't steal your job. Refugees from a country that was blown up by the American Empire are not coming to steal your job. They have nowhere else to go because the American Empire wants a pipeline or their resources or whatever. Jedi Mullet 77, shave your knuckles for justice. Corporate Joe Biden will never be asked, will you support Bernie Sanders if he gets nominated? Yeah, God, that's a great point. Such a great point. Start asking that question publicly. I'll start asking that question. Will Joe Biden support Bernie Sanders if he gets the nomination? I want to hear that question. I want to hear that question repeat. Just like, how are we going to pay for it? Nobody ever asked that about war. Turn it on them. Well, Joe Biden, that's a great thing, Jedi Mullet. Thanks for bringing that up. David Wint. I'm going to take a quick water break here. This is a I take this on the road with me to use less plastic. So it's a reusable plastic, hard plastic bottle. It's supposed to be a lightsaber, but you unscrew this, you put water in there. I bring my this green superfood on the road, and then I also just put plant-based protein in there as well. And that's what I make because I can't make smoothies all the time. Anyway, David Wint, thank you for supporting the show, David. Oil companies are now lobbying for market-based solutions to lower emissions. Oh, fuck off. Lower emissions. Yeah, there needs to be no emissions. We need to end emissions. Your lower emission days are over. You had that chance in the 80s. It's over. It's past time for a revolution. Forget the politicians. Extinction Rebellion is the only hope now. You may very well be right, David. It's what it's going to take. Mass resistance. Look at all of the labor strikes that have been successful. All of the teachers' unions, the Uber strike. More people are striking, and that's what it's going to take. I support Extinction Rebellion. I support the Sunrise Movement. It might just take those things. So thanks for bringing that up to our attention, man. I really appreciate it. And I think we'll see you on the East Coast, David. Boom! Sam Dean shaving the knuckles down under. Ivanka Trump got initial approval for 16 new trademarks in China, including something for voting machines. Please explain why this is important. Jesus Christ. Yeah, so there's no, one of the things with the they want to, so there's a company, Diebold, a couple of the companies that do the digital voting, there's no paper receipt, and the machines, they've proven it can be hacked inside of 10 minutes. So what she's trying to do is just own the machines so they can own more of the voting and lie and cheat more. That's my guess is what that is. Ivanka Trump. Which I would love to see her and Chelsea Clinton and the Obama daughters and the drunk Bush girls all have to join the Marines and become soldiers every time their parents send people to war. I'd like to see that, Sam Dean. Thank you for supporting the show. Susie Simon, shave the knuckles for justice. If Bernie wins the nomination, the establishment will throw its support behind Trump. True story. You're not wrong. Because, Bernie's going to hurt their bottom line. You'll watch it. You'll see people on the left kind of lean towards Trump. People who are like, Trump's evil, he's the worst, he's the Nazi. If Bernie wins the nomination. I don't think that's an outlandish thing at all. So that's a great point to bring up. Let's take a look at some of the hotel artwork real quick. I don't know what that is, guys. It's some sort of print mural of Austin, Texas, and these are just color swatch things. They're kind of exciting. Just take a little brief hotel artwork moment. This hotel artwork moment was brought to you by Graham Elwood Shave Cream. Shaving your knuckles for justice. Thank you, Susie. Who else? Independent Outsider, what's up? Good to have you on the show. Suggestion, everyone donate to WikiLeaks today. Happy birthday, Elizabeth Lee Voss. Oh! WikiLeaks is a fine organization to donate to. Elizabeth Lee Voss is so great. She's doing great work. She's not working with Disobedient anymore, but she's contributing to Consortium and doing a lot of her own independent journalism. I just interviewed her. I did 2 segments with her about a week or so ago. She's the one that is really out there. She turned me on to Susie Dawson and really the whole Unity for Jay movement. So hats off to Elizabeth Lee Voss. She's fantastic. She's one of the many people I've only ever met virtually. So show her some love on Twitter. Tell her happy birthday and tell her she's definitely making Gotham great again. Yeah, and as Alex said, right to Chelsea Manning in jail. For sure. Um, Jedi Mullet 77. Turn off the lights. Use a black light to see more art. All right, dude. I'll try to remember to bring a black light with me when I go on the road. Balthazar 228. Shave the knuckles for justice. I want to start a political commentary channel on YouTube. How does one become a Jagoff nightclub comedian? Well, I'll tell you why. Have a desire to never have a real job. Always get into trouble in school. Be the outsider even in your own family. Call out people's bullshit. Have a built-in bullshit detector. Get yourself into a lot of trouble because you're a wise ass. And then travel around the country trying to get gigs, saying jackass things on stage and getting free drinks. There you go. That's all you got to do. Yeah. Have maybe even some trauma or abuse as a child always helps. A lot of options. A lot of ways to go through. I think the vote blue no matter who people should shut the fuck up during primaries and let us figure it out. Yeah, it's unfucking believable. They're acting like it's fucking November 2020. This is what a primary is about. Like, just shut up, don't criticize the candidates. No, this is our primary process. This is how you do it. You have this debate. Who's the best person to run against the sitting president? This is what the process is. They're fucking stupid. They're so fucking stupid. They don't even understand goddamn democracy. Don't criticize. Shut the fuck up. I'm going to criticize whoever the fuck I want. What is this? This isn't fucking Little League where we all cheer and everyone gets a fucking participation medal. You want to be president of the United States, motherfucker? We're going to pull down your pants and stick a fucking camera up your ass and see who the fuck you are if you're going to be in charge of the biggest military on the history of the planet. Sorry. Boo hoo. If that's not, you don't like that, boo fucking who, man. I don't care. I love Tulsi Gabbard. There's so much about her. I'm going to ask the questions about Hindutva and Modi. I'm sorry. And if that ruffles feathers and she doesn't want to come on the show and won't surf with me, I'd vote for the woman. I'll tell you that right now. I'd vote for her. If she was the presidential nominee, I'd vote for her. But I'm going to still ask that question about Hindu nationalists. I'm going to ask that question. And the Hindu nationalists that always freak the fuck out every time I ask that question, boo fucking who. Don't be a Hindu nationalist then. If you don't like questions asked, don't be a Hindu fucking nationalist. Anytime people ask about the ills of the Catholic Church, I don't lose my fucking shit because you want to know why? I don't belong to any church or religion or any organization like that because I see how corrupt they are because I was part of one that protected pedophile priests. And I was part of one through no choice of my own. My parents just said, we're Catholic and you're going to Sunday school. And I had no fucking choice in the matter. So we're going to ask these fucking questions. And the vote new blood, just shut the fuck up. And I'm going to say that on social media and I'll do the same. Let us fucking decide this. Who are you picking now? We're picking people now? Shut the fuck up. Unreal. Thanks for bringing that up. I went on a little tirade, sorry. Got a little riled up. 151 views, 114 likes. Like, comment, and share. I love Liz Voss, Elizabeth Lee Voss. I hope she's doing well. If you're watching, Elizabeth, happy birthday. I'm glad I got to come to Texas, man. Ron and I came, and we're here with Jimmy. I probably have cameras installed in my room. Who's that under the covers? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Venezuela has clean elections. The bed is very comfy. It is a very comfy bed. Wait. Just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. What do I think about the persecution of Christians in the Middle East? That's awful when anyone does that, when any religious group gets persecuted, when any religious group is a minority in an area and they get persecuted, it's awful. Timothy Bracken, come to Baltimore. We are. Go to grahamelwood.com. We are going to be there June 13th. Ron Placone and I are doing the Progressive Comedy Tour in Baltimore, June 13th. Get your tickets on the East Coast, guys. Yes, June 13th at the Blue Room. All right. Tanya Z, settle it down. If you start being rude, you guys can disagree with each other, but if you start being rude and insulting, I'll block you. That's the rule here. So dial that down. You can disagree. I don't care if you guys don't have to all love each other, but you can start telling you suck my ass and fuck you. I will block you the fuck out of here. Got it? Mark Effinger, shave the knuckles for justice. Can you riff on Tulsi a little more? I see one more, Tanya. You're going down. Toxic doesn't mean suck your ass. Yeah, if you can't handle if you're being called toxic, then oh, good. Bye. Oh, you won't be back? Guess what? Hidden. There you go. Go back to that. Sorry, crybabies. Done. Riff on Tulsi. Look, there's so much I love about Tulsi Gabbard. She has now come out to say that Julian Assange should be freed. She is. I'm on board with so much of what Tulsi. There's a really good 30-minute interview that Glenn Greenwald did. So Glenn Greenwald is not going to pussyfoot around, and it's a really good interview. So I just like. There's so much about her I like. I still want to ask this question. I want to hear this question answered. Maybe some of you have sent me clips to watch about it, and I've missed them because I know we've talked about this before. And if you've sent me a clip about her recently answering the Modi thing succinctly, and I haven't gotten to it yet, my apologies. The question I have: if she's president and Modi decides to go after, it was just brought up, Christians being persecuted in the Middle East. I think it's awful when it happens. It's awful that how Muslims are treated in this country and other places in the West. It's awful. If Tulsi's president and Modi decides to go after non-Hindus in India in a brutal fashion, what is she going to do? Hey, I can't go after him too. Is she going to let it happen the way every president lets Netanyahu do whatever he wants? That's a real question to ask. That is a real question to ask. And that's not racist to ask that question. I want an answer to that question. She's all these other things. She keeps getting better. The way she came out and supported Julian, like all these things, but I want to know that. I want to know the answer to that. And I also want to know the answer to if there's some type of false flag, what is she going to do? Let the generals and the war hawks push her into war? I want to know the answer to that. It's a fair question to ask. Yeah. What if Modi? Somebody just brought up. What if Modi goes against, like, invades Pakistan while she's president? What is she going to do? Hey, India has a right to protect itself. It's complicated. See all those things that the people say that support the right-wing government in Israel? Fair question to ask. John Smith, shave the knuckles for justice. 157 viewers, 126 likes. Will Bernie end the war on drugs? Man, great question. I hope so. So that video that I just put out showing Bernie and Biden debating on the Senate floor in 1994 Bernie was against Biden's awful crime bill. One of the things Bernie said, he goes, this crime bill doesn't address the real reasons of why there's so much crime. Biden flat out says, I don't care if you had a tough childhood. I don't care if money was tight. Fuck you. So I think Bernie would. If he becomes president, I think he would end the war on drugs. I think he would go into, because he's been saying the same thing for 30 years or more. And I think he would do that. And I think it's also the kind of thing that if he becomes president, look, if Bernie becomes president, it is up to us, progressives, to hold him accountable for everything. We don't sit back and go, yay, our guy won. Let's go back to brunch. No. We hold him accountable. The minute he starts trying to play ball, we say, nope. So that's a good question, John Smith. And after he kissed Taylor's ass. Yeah, he would work with AMLO in Mexico to end the drug war bullshit. I don't know what AMLO is, but Tulsi said she would pardon Assange. That's important. That's big to me. And all that stuff and her anti-interventionism is a reason why I would vote for. AMLO is in Mexico's new super progressive president. Great. Hey, Brian McManus, shave your knuckles for justice. If I must vote Dem, it's Tulsi. Yeah, I get that. To be clear, okay, so Tulsi, I'm assuming, said she couldn't pardon him because he isn't American, but the charges would be dismissed. Yeah, Tulsi's too good to win, Scrabble Eddie. It's a good point. Graham, any chance you are coming to Connecticut or Southwest Florida this year? Connecticut, absolutely. June 16th, Ron Placone and I, as part of the Progressive Comedy Tour. Get your tickets at GrahamAll.com, guys. That tour is like 4 weeks away. Get your tickets now. It's a lot of cool, intimate venues, so the more shows sell out, helps the whole thing. It's better if you buy tickets in advance. We usually do $15 ticket, $20 at the door. So if you buy them in advance, you save money, and it helps us gauge to know how many people are going to be there and all that stuff. Hope you can make it. Sam Dean, shave the knuckles for justice. It's important to support a review of the suggestions put in place and create a discussion about the implementation of services to and fro regarding the concepts discussed and reviewed prior to this discussion, right? Simple. Let's say that again. It's important to support a review of the suggestions put in place and create a discussion about the implementation of services to and fro regarding the concepts discussed and reviewed prior to this discussion, right? Yeah, that's a good thing. I like that, Sam. We've talked about the gas tax and registration for better infrastructure. This was specific. This from Susie Simon specifically to Illinois, but this is an issue that is raised in other places. And her question or concern is the tax and higher registration would adversely affect working class and poor people, which is a legitimate thing. Infrastructure needs to be done. It needs to be a green infrastructure, but that needs to be considered when you go into taxes. I don't think you do it with a registration. I think you do it with the gas. You got to increase gas a little bit. That I don't think you can get around. I'm glad you like my X-Men shirt. And I think that's one of the things, like I try to just have consistent themes about getting involved. Annabelle Corley asked, what do I do since a right-wing government is in place? And that's why I say Extinction Rebellion, as David Wint has pointed out, is, in his opinion, is the only real answer. And so that's what I would do. That's how I would. As I've said, and I say this like every week and maybe almost in every video, is we got to come at them from all angles. There's not going to be like one quick fix. It's not, well, Bernie's it, we did it, like, or whatever. No, man. It's got to be on the local level. Like I just did a bonus video on the Patreon about how Vermont passed a bill ending a pesticide that kills bees. Because beekeepers were like, oh shit, we've had something like 50-some% bee population die off because of this pesticide. So if Vermont did that, then the 49 other states, maybe some of them already have this legislation, but all the other states that don't can do it because they did it in Vermont, which is like the consistent theme I am always talking about, Sam D. So I hope that helps. And when will the we the people DNA mutate and wake us the fuck up? Great question. I love political shuffle talk. It's so much fun. The beautiful mix of repetition and meaning. It's really funny. Bees don't pay taxes. Yeah, good point. The monarch butterflies are dying in Chicago. Thanks for bringing that up, Moose Gal. Find out what's killing them and stop using it. You know, like it's probably these pesticides. And who knows, the Chicago Park District might be using it. Like there's any number of things out there that could be causing this happening. Jedi Mullet 77, thank you for supporting the show. The truth is always the first casualty. Man, you ain't lying. It is always the first casualty, and you're already seeing it. You know, the show last night in Austin, Jimmy showed a clip of Rachel Maddow talking about all the conspiracies, and this is how the Russian government does. And she basically just listed off the tactic that she uses on her channel to whip people up into conspiracies and push the truth away. And it was crazy. She unknowingly admitted, like, this is what I'm doing. It's nuts. John Smith, Shave the Knuckles for Justice. Look up Bradley versus Fisher, 1871. Every judge in this country is allowed to be corrupt and malicious in their decisions by law. Oh, wow. That's fascinating. I didn't know that. Look up Bradley versus Fisher, 1871. Okay. I'll do that. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Thank you, John Smith. 159 viewers, 135 likes. Thank you for subscribing. Like and subscribe. Go to grahamelwood.com. This is all my tour dates. We're doing June 12th, DC, the 13th, Baltimore, 14, 15, Philadelphia, 16, New Haven, Connecticut, 17, New York City, and the 19th, we are in Boston. That's it for the East Coast tour, not adding any more dates. So please come to one of those shows. Bring a friend, wake them up. It's a fun night. Ron does 45 minutes of stand-up. I do 45 minutes of stand-up. So like in DC, I think Lee Camp might pop in due time. I think Tim Black might jump in due time. You know, Jordan Sheridan said he's probably going to come to the shows in New York City. So it's pretty awesome. You know, the shows are going to be pretty rad. So come out, no matter where you are. So check that out. But thank you, John Smith. Laura Glennie, Shave the Knuckles for Justice. Laura, thank you for supporting the show. I have to say this, but by the way, we are reacting to climate crisis. I'm starting to wonder if the human race deserves to survive. It's a valid point, Laura. Here's my thinking on the matter. We have to do something, and we have to do something now. And species that don't adapt, they die off. Every species that didn't adapt died off. So if the human race cannot adapt and change and fix its environment to survive, it'll go. And I don't say that as like, oh, I just say that matter of factly. I'm going to do everything that I can. I'm going to support organizations. I'm going to get videos out of there. I try to bring up the Green New Deal and climate change in almost every video interview. I brought it up last night that I can, to wake people up that it's coming. We have to take action now. We have no choice. We don't have time for middle ground. And I do that because that's for me. I got to do something. I'm not it's too late. Look, I'm not a politician. I'm not a billionaire. I'm not a president of a big country. I'm not a president of a big corporation that could change things. I'm just a stand-up comic who likes superheroes in a hotel room. So that's my thinking, and that's what I suggest. Do the best you can and support the organizations and the people that are going to help get it done and get the word out. And then I let it go. The rest is out of my control. The rest is in the universe's hands or God's hands or whatever you believe in, the force, Yoda, whatever it is, and together we can get a lot done. And don't acquiesce to any middle ground bullshit, because it ain't going to get it done. Thanks for supporting the show, Laura. And that's a fine thing to bring up. It's not you're not bad or wrong for bringing that up. Yeah. I have kids and I want them to survive. Yeah, if you have kids, absolutely. Pat the Batman fan, yes, I did get the knuckle shaving design. It's fantastic. I've been traveling. I thought I responded back. Maybe I forgot to, but it was great. I love it. Nice job. Annabelle Corley, shave your knuckles down under. A dingo shaved my knuckles. Horrible accent. Horrible. I'm sorry. I apologize to you and all the Aussies watching right now for that horrible thing. Annabelle, we should ask more questions. Not asking questions got us in the mess we are in now. To old white guys with bad orange makeup who don't care about the planet because you will be dead soon, leave things to the new generation. Absolutely. And even when I hear like people on the left, stop asking questions, why are you? No, I'm going to ask questions. I mean, the crazy Hillary supporters. When the Podesta emails came out, no, I get to ask questions. It looks like corruption to me. It looks like cheating. I'm going to ask that question. I'm going to ask as many questions as I want, because this is exactly you're so right. Not asking questions is why we're here. Just sitting there going, well, I guess, I don't know. No. Democracies thrive when people participate. And one of the ways to participate is to go, wait a minute, ask questions. I don't like this. Let's have a discussion on it. We need to have a national debate on this. I want Mike Gravel on the debate stage. I want to see people debate it, talk about it, right? So thank you, Annabelle, for asking that question and supporting the show. Ofuentes 11 brings up a great point. Shave your knuckles for justice, Ofuentes. Good to see you back here. The OFF Act is better than the Green New Deal. Yeah, read Tulsi Gabbard's Off Fossil Fuels Act. I want whatever's going to get it fixed. So that's what I think. Yeah, and getting back to the Laura Glennie wrote, Greta Thunberg gives me hope. Yeah, that's what it's going to take. And see, everything you're bringing up ties it in. What Annabelle Corley is saying is what Greta Thunberg is doing. Greta Thunberg's asking questions. Why, hey, adults, why have you ruined the planet for me? I'm 16. Why aren't you doing more? You need to do something more now. I'm a high school kid. I'm a teenage girl. I'm not on the UN Security Council. The 5 largest weapons manufacturer planets are all in the UN Security Council. So she gets to ask that question. You get to ask these questions. I get to ask these questions. Pat the Batman fan shaved a dingo once. Only once. AOC is another feckless tool, just like Bernie Sanders. I don't agree with that. It's fair to be critical of AOC. And if she and Bernie, I did a video of she and Bernie in the conversation with Elizabeth Lee Voss. It's fair to be critical of her. And if that's what you think, that's fine. I don't agree with it. because I'm just seeing her. I just see her doing more good in ways that I've never seen politicians do. But you get to ask questions, just like Annabelle said. You could ask questions, and I don't think she's gonna. She might. She's only been in power or in Congress for 5 months, so we'll see. I should probably get going soon, guys, because I got to do 2 shows tonight. 1985 average tuition across all public colleges was $3,500 in today's dollars, with minimum wage of $725. 2015 school year average tuition was $16,000, with the minimum wage was $725. Oh yeah, it's nuts. Thanks for bringing that up. John Smith. Shame the knuckles for justice. Do you think peaceful resistance is just a slogan to pacify the public? Stop asking fucking questions. Ha, get it? No, that's a fair question to ask. Is it used to pacify the public? Some people might be using that to pacify the public. As I've said before, the people that are like, we want violent anarchy and we got to smash it up and burn it down, I just get leery of that. I've said this before on this live stream, and I will say it again. I've seen what some revolutions happen, and they start noble. We got to fight the power, and then the revolutionaries become the oppressors because they're drunk with power, and it gets violent and it gets awful. So is someone trying to, weaponize peaceful resistance to pacify the public, John Smith? You might very well be true. Are there people doing it? Probably. Yes, they are. I don't think it's to pacify. I think it's, again, I referred to Chris Hedges in Death of the Liberal Class. Because he was in, Bosnia, Kosovo, and the Balkans and all that stuff. And, I've talked about this before, like Pol Pot, right? So he wanted independence for Cambodia, just like Ho Chi Minh. He's like, European imperialists owned our country. We want to give the country back to the people. And he was educated in Western Europe. He was raised Catholic. He had studied Buddhism, and he got to power with the Khmer Rouge and became one of the most brutal, savage dictators that have ever happened. I mean, the ethnic cleansing in Bosnia was horrifying. It's just happened time and time again. And so I subscribe to peaceful resistance, and that means blocking stuff, shutting stuff down. And like, we need to have a general strike. Everybody just not shopping. Everybody decides to not pay their taxes. The air traffic controllers say, we're going to shut stuff down. Stuff needs like that. That's not violent. You don't have to blow. No one has to die. You don't have to blow anything up. The teacher strikes got stuff done. That's nonviolent resistance. That's my opinion. It's a fair question to ask, though. Fuentes 11, shave the knuckles for justice. AOC is silent on all issues that matter. Assange, Venezuela, Chelsea Manning, all about the camera, sorry. Well, I don't agree. I mean, those are very important issues. The issue she is the most concerned with and the most vocal about is climate change. Because to me, again, I've said this before, we fix everything else. We free Julian Assange and Chelsea Manning, and we stop invading Venezuela, and we fix everything else, racism, equal rights, transgender, women's rights, all of that stuff, but we don't fix the environment. It doesn't matter. So to me, she just sees that as a 29-year-old person going, I'm not going to have, will I be alive in 30? Will there be a planet to live in 20, 30 years when I'm in my 50s? So the fact that she's silent on those issues, those are fine things to be critical of her of, in my opinion. Fine things to be critical of her of. But I don't think she's just about the camera. I don't buy that at all. I just don't. I think she's fighting to get the planet saved, like a lot of young people who realize it's on them. Millennials, they're the ones, any of you millennials watching, you're going to have the worst situation. So that's my opinion on that. But I got to run. Thank you for asking this question. As Flash Gordon, AOC is just starting. We have to be fair with her and help. Yeah, absolutely, man. Give her. She's only been in office 5 months. Like, we can't just like always flip out and sell her out. She sold us out just because she doesn't say exactly what we want when it happens as it happens. So that's my stance on that. Let me read all of the creator. Let me read off all of the super chat supporters. Go to grandmelwa.com, you guys. 20,505 events. I think it's under events. Yes, live control. It's always I gotta sneak through it. This new platform for YouTube is maddening. Maddening. Yeah, you're right. We should be saying to save the human race because the planet's going to be fine. Earth is going to be fine. We won't be here anymore, but Earth will be fine. Let me thank all the super chatters. Shave all of your knuckles for justice. Thank you so much. Jedi Mullet 77. Boom. Balthazar 228. Balthazar 228. Balthazar 228 again. Jedi Mullet with the counterattack. Bob Swanick. We'll see you out east. Balthazar 228 again. John Smith. Good to have you. Susie Simons. Thank you for supporting the show. OTR Trucker. Jay Allen again, Balthazar 228 again, Jedi Mullet 77, Balthazar 228, boom. Susie Simons, we'll see you in Chicago in July. Robert Gilbert, thank you so much. We'll try to get email TYT, you guys. Let them know you want me and Ron to host Aggressive Progressive. Just give Graham his own show, hashtag. Annabelle Corley, thank you for supporting the show, Annabelle. Hope things are well down under. Marcia Smith, have a great, safe, wonderful knee surgery tomorrow, Marcia. Much love to you. Show her some love. I hope it all goes well. OTR Trucker, Shave the Knuckles for Justice. Eugene Westman, thank you for supporting the show. Mark Evinger, you got it, brother. Hope there was enough riffing. Jedi Mullet 77, thank you. David Witt, always good to see you here, David. Jedi Mullet 77 again, boom. Sam Dean, boom. Thank you for supporting the show. A lot of Aussie love, a lot of down under time today. Susie Simons, go Cubs, Balthazar 228, boom. Independent Outsider, happy birthday, Elizabeth Lee Voss, Jedi Mullet 77, John Smith, boom. Mark Effinger, Rip on John Smith, thank you, great questions. Jedi Mullet 77, boom. Sam Dean, thank you for asking that. John Smith, boom. Sam Dean again. Are you even wearing pants? Yeah. Okay, let me answer that question. Yeah, I'm wearing short pants. I am wearing pants, but thank you, Sam. Am I wearing pants? Laura Glenny, thank you so much. Annabelle Corley again, boom. Ofuentes 11, thank you so much. Ofuentes 11 again. Balthazar 228, boom. Jameson Doan, if that was the issue she cared most about, she would be supporting Tulsi's Off Act. But AOC hasn't mentioned it at all, instead just endorsed the green legislation of a former fracking lobbyist. It might be because, again, she's been in office 5 months. So she's like, she supports that thing with Merkel. Or Senator Markey, sorry. Let's get a Green New Deal going. I think that's a good thing. Give her some time. She has no experience. She was literally waiting tables. She has no experience. Give her some time. It's fair to be critical of her. Give her some time. Balthazar 228, watch that video and don't forget the Streamlabs donations. Well, let's do that. Let's go over to the Streamlabs. Streamlabs.com/Graham Elwood. To thank all you folks. Got 2 shows tonight, so I hope I don't lose my voice. Yikes. Yowza. Streamlabs. Accountability on Streamlabs. The OFAC doesn't have a goal of 100% renewable until 2035. I need goals and plans for candidates that are within their terms and not beyond both their terms and the Earth's. It just makes it impossible to judge the candidates and allows others to wreck it. Good point. Got to be off it in 10 years, man. That's the goal. Boom. Alabama donated. Alabama boldly competing with Mississippi for rank 50 since its inception. Thank you so much. I'm assuming that's Balthazar. Eugene Westman, Shave the Knuckles for Justice. How are progressives rebels if they want the government to take away our guns? I don't think progressives want the governments to take away our guns, Eugene. We need gun regulation. You shouldn't be able to buy a gun on the internet and bought like 10,000 rounds of armor like that one guy that shot up. Easy access to guns and untreated mental illness are this fucking ticking time bomb. Well, not ticking time bomb. It's a bomb that keeps going off every year, every month. So progressives don't want to take your guns. That's a ridiculous argument. We need gun legislation. Giving teachers guns is a ridiculous idea. You live in the country, you need a hunting rifle and a limited amount of ammo. I'm fine with that. No one needs an AR-15. Nobody needs that. So I appreciate all of you supporting the show. It's American Bloodlust. Should do the Deadpool rap song. I can't sing, you guys. I got to go do 2 shows tonight. I did a show last night. My voice is like getting shot. So, please stop targeting people with mental illness diagnoses. People shooting up places are taking psych drugs. Yeah, there's some of that. Yes, but there's also, it's all of it. I'm not targeting people with mental illness. I'm saying that's a part of the equation. There's a lot of reasons people shoot things up. That's part of it. We need to talk about mental illness, not make it a stigma. And people getting easy access to psych drugs. There's a whole convoluted things, but I appreciate you bringing that up. Just to clarify, I'm not targeting people with mental illness. I'm saying there's a lot of issues we're not dealing with. Some of them have been vets with PTSD that's not being addressed. So it's a lot of that. So, but thank you guys for supporting the show. A quick close-up of the here's the artwork. It's kind of an Austin landscape. And here's this artwork. Interesting. It's kind of hard with the glare. Oh, there you go. Awesome. We got to 154 likes. You guys are fantastic. I appreciate the conversations, the discussions, even the debates. We keep it friendly. I will not take LSD in this room. Jedi Mullet 77. Boom. Breaking news from Fox. The only thing that stops a bad toddler with a Death Star is a good toddler with a Death Star. Fantastic joke. Fantastic. Nice. You guys are fantastic. Love doing the show. You guys are great. Shave your knuckles for justice. Make Gotham great again. Go to grahamelwood.com. Hey, Mayors, what's up? Got to run, but you guys are fantastic. I really appreciate it. Thank all of you for supporting the show. I will see you later.